Hi everyone, it's Kelly. Thanks for joining me. We're going to do a chair workout using the magic circle. So you're going to have a seat on your chair. I have one high spring on here on a balanced body chair. That's the third notch from the bottom, not the little nub that's at the top. I hardly use that one. If you have a different chair, this is probably a medium weight. You can certainly go heavier. This is just what works for my body. So sitting close to the front edge of the chair with your heels on the pedal, legs squeezed together. You're going to hold that circle in your hands, elbows wide apart and fingertips forward. So the circle is in between the heel of my hands. Sitting tall, I take an inhale, pull the pedal up as high as I can. Exhale, press down, squeeze the ring. Inhale, release the ring. Exhale to squeeze. I'm also squeezing my shoulder blades. Inhale, lift and release. Exhale, press down and squeeze. Keep going. And last one down and all the way up. This time back the feet up to the arches without backing your bottom up. And if you feel like you can't push the pedal down well and you have to lean forward, that means you need to scoot forward. If you feel like you can't pull it up without leaning far back, you might have to scoot back a little bit. So find that sweet spot. Arms out and hug the tree. And we're going to be squeezing the ring and pulling on the ring. So pull the pedal up as high as you can. Inhale, squeeze the ring, press down. Exhale, pull on the ring and pull the legs up. Squeeze and pull. Shoulders away from the ears. Neck is long. Inhale and exhale. This is 5 of 8. And pull. And then we're going to put the toes on. Arms are going to go straight out. This is a little bit challenging for me right now with the frozen shoulder, but I'm going to do my best. So legs up high, parallel, wrapping the toes around like a bird on a perch. Inhale, squeeze the ring more from the pinky finger side of the hand, and then release, pull up. Down and up. So pressing into the bottom of the hand or the pinky finger side, then you will activate under your arms a little bit more when you squeeze the ring. And last one, and release. Put the ring on top of your knees or thighs and hold on to the top of it. Press your pedal halfway down so your thighs are parallel to the ground. Sit tall. Point the ankles and flex. So press your toes down and up without moving your knees, without lifting and lowering your knees, I should say. Inhale and exhale. Abs drawn into the spine. My spine is nice and flat and tall and straight. Head is high and I try to keep my chin level with the floor. Last 2. One more time. And release. Now we're going to open the toes into Pilates V and put the ring on the right shoulder. So my right hand is on top of the ring. The bottom of it is against my shoulder, right next to my neck. Trying to keep handle on top of handle. I'm going to pull my pedal up as high as possible. My heels have to stay squeezed together on this turnout. And then squeeze the ring as you press the pedal down. Release the ring as you pull the pedal up. Try not to move your torso, just your legs and your right arm. I try to move the arm and legs simultaneously. It's very easy to sort of just bounce this ring up and down, but I try to really control the release each time. I have not counted well, so we're just going to say this is our last one. And then I'm going to attempt this on this other side. Okay. So press and pull. You can see I don't have handle stacked on top of handle very well here. And this is kind of uncomfortable for this shoulder, but I know that it needs the extension. So I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do one more. And then we're gonna go wide on the heels and put the ring in between the thighs. And then let's hold the arms up, squeeze those shoulder blades together, shoulders away from the ears, nice long neck. Pull your pedal up as high as you can without leaning backwards. You want to stay upright. And inhale down and squeeze the ring. Exhale, release. I did a yoga workout yesterday here at the studio with our yoga instructor, and she killed our inner thighs. So I feel this one without even having to move, just holding the ring in between my legs. And last one. And then I want you to put your left hand on the top of the ring, the right hand behind your head. Your heels or arches are on the pedal nice and wide. You're going to squeeze the ring. And if the pedal moves down, that's fine. You're not moving the pedal on purpose. If it goes down a little, that's okay. If it's all the way on the floor, that's fine too. But squeeze the ring, pull up on it gently, and lift your heart to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, release everything. Squeeze, pull up, and lift, and release. Squeeze, pull up, and arch, and release. One more time. Squeeze, pull up, and arch, and then we're going to twist. Squeeze, pull up, rotate to the right, and release. Squeeze, pull up on the ring, grow tall, and twist to the right, and release. Squeeze, pull, and twist. One more time. Squeeze, pull, and twist, and release. Right hand goes to the ring. Left hand, I'm probably going to be able to get it on top of my head. I don't think I can get it behind, so I'm just going to do the best I can here. So squeeze, pull, and arch. Just watch your neck, and release. Squeeze, pull up, and lift, and release. Two more. Squeeze, pull, lift the heart to the ceiling, and release. One more. Squeeze, pull, and lift. And we'll add a twist. Squeeze, pull, and rotate to the left, keeping your head high. Squeeze, pull, and rotate. And squeeze, pull, and twist. We've got one more. Squeeze, pull, and twist, and release. All right, coming off of the chair, we're going to place the ring down on the floor, pretty close to the wooden platform. So I'm going to surround my feet around this ring and kind of walk my feet in a little bit so that there's some pressure. And I'm probably approximately a foot length away from the chair or the base of the chair. Staying on this one high spring, you could also do one medium. Inhale, arms out to the side and overhead. Exhale, tip your chin, look down, curl over, squeezing that ring in between your feet, and then press down and rock up. Now where I have this microphone placed, I don't want to be yelling at you, so I'm going to keep my face looking down, but you should look toward your knees or your thighs. exhaling down, inhaling up. One more time. Now press as low as you can and bend your elbows towards your kneecaps. Keep your spine rounded, your abdomen lifted, and elbows narrow. When those arms straighten, turn your fingers to face each other. We'll do it again with the elbows going wide apart. Don't lose your ring. Make sure you're squeezing it in, so ankle bones pressing towards each other. When those arms straighten, push as low as you can to stretch. And then round all the way up. Palms lift to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale them to the side and down. If you're able to, clasp your hands behind your back. I can get one arm behind me, so I'm just going to lift my heart and stretch. And breathe. Good. So now I'd like you, I'm going to turn to face you, even though you do not have to turn. I'd like you to put that circle in between your ankles. So above the ankle bones. It's nice if it's on bare skin. It's a little bit easier rather than against your pants legs. It's a little bit easier to keep it there. And then we're going to shift our weight over to the right and try to pick up the left leg. Your hands can be on your hips. They can be out to the sides for balance, whatever you need. So balancing on the right leg, I'm trying not to bend over. I want to stay upright and just shift my weight onto this right foot. I'm straight from my right outer ankle to my armpit. I'm going to keep my arms down, and then we're going to pulse that ring or press in and out as we stay tall and lifted, navel to spine, breathing and balancing. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to softly put this foot down, shift your weight over to the other side, and pick up your toes if you can, and then balance. I could try to stare at a spot on the wall. 3, 4, little pulses here. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then softly put your foot down. And then we'll take that ring out from there. And we're going to hold it in our hands as we do some standing leg presses, single leg presses. So measure your own foot length away from the wooden platform, heels together, toes apart, arms up and hug the tree. Drag your right toe to knee and balance on your left leg. And then softly put your foot onto the pedal. I like the arch of my foot on there. You could have toes, arch, or heel. You're going to squeeze the ring as you press the pedal down. Pull on the ring as you lift the pedal up. Press and pull. Press and pull. Inhale and exhale. Reach and pull. We're going to do one more. And pull. And then I want you to slide your foot across the pedal, so you're cross-loaded, and you're going to swivel on your left foot to turn to the left. Again, arms out in front of us and hug the tree. You want, when your pedal comes down, it's best if your heels match, so you don't want your foot that's on the floor to be too far forward or too far back from where the other foot is when the pedal comes down. And then really work on externally rotating this leg as it lifts, and then press down. So we're going to pull the circle apart as we lift the leg, press the ring as we lower the leg. I inhale down and exhale up, but as long as you're breathing, that's what's most important. Control this pedal in both directions. This will make you feel your inner thighs too, especially if they're sore from a yoga workout yesterday, like mine. One more time, down and up, pushing and pulling in the ring, and then we're going to softly take this foot to the floor, heel to heel. Then we're going to step backwards. So my right foot is sort of at the corner of the chair. I don't want, when I cross the midline and put my left foot up here and I push my pedal down, I don't want my toes of my right foot to get crushed. So just be very careful and make sure you know where to stand. And then ring is up in front of us. I know you can't see it, but you'll see it when I get to the other side. And then you're going to press down and squeeze the ring and release or pull on the ring when the leg comes up. Squeeze, press down, release up. Feel that external rotation. Make sure you're lifted up and out of your hips, belly drawn into the spine. Move nice and slow and controlled. And the foot that's on the floor, my toes are spread and they're nice and flat and wide, gripping the floor to help me balance. Last two. I don't know the count, but this is what feels right. One more time. And pull and lift, and then softly take your foot to the floor. And then we're going to turn to face the chair again. So measuring my own foot length away, heels together, toes apart. I'm going to drag my left toes to knee this time, and then set my foot onto the pedal. Squeeze the ring, press down, pull on the ring, and lift the pedal. Squeeze and press and lift. Both legs are slightly externally rotated. I'm pulling on the ring, pulling it apart with my back muscles. I'm squeezing it with my chest muscles. I like to inhale down and exhale up. Let's do a couple more. And last one. And lift and pull. Slide your foot across the pedal to the right side of it, and then swivel on your left heel without torquing your knee. That's why you have to lift up your toes, so that both legs are turned out. Now I again like to press the pedal down and make sure that my feet just about match. Right now this right foot is a little bit behind the left, but that feels good to me. But you just don't want it too far forward or back. You want things pretty much in line. And then I grow tall, I guide my pedal up, and we'll start. So squeeze the ring, push the pedal down, pull on the ring, lift the pedal up. Squeeze and pull. Inhaling in one direction, exhaling the other. And really release the pedal with resistance and control. You don't want the spring just to recoil and have the pedal fly up. Not only will you lose your balance, but you're also not using your muscles to control the movement, and that's important. One more time. It's a guess as to the number. And then we'll softly, heel to heel, take this foot down. And then we step back. So my left toes are kind of angled towards the corner of the base of the chair. And then my right foot is going to cross the midline. I'm going to press it down one time just to make sure I'm not going to crush my toes, which I know I'm not, but you should do that and just make sure. And then, don't lose your balance. Make sure, this side is my harder side, but make sure that your pelvis and chest face forward. This leg is crossed over. Hands in front of you, holding the ring. Grow tall. Push down and squeeze. Get your feet settled where they need to be. Pull up and pull on the ring. Push the ring and press the pedal and lift. I can definitely feel a difference in my ability to balance on this left leg. I'm going to inhale down, exhale up and pull. Squeeze and push the pedal. Pull the ring and pull the pedal up. I'm going to say this is 6 and 7 and 8, and lift and pull, and softly take your foot to the floor, heel to heel, and we dismount. And now we're going to set the ring down, stand behind this chair, toes right up against it. We're going to do a standing cat stretch. So this is also a nice stretch for the hamstrings after the work we just did. So let's do feet parallel. It makes it a little bit more challenging for your balance, and toes right up against the wood of the chair. Inhale the arms out to the side and overhead as high as you can. Exhale, tip your chin, look down, round over. When your hands land on the pedal, round your back like a scared cat, and then lengthen your spine as you push the pedal down, looking out in front of you, lifting your head and tail up. It feels so good. Exhale, tuck and curl and round and lift your pedal. Inhale away. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Stretch. One more time, big reach. And curl. And lift those arms up to the sky as you rise up. Hands come down. Try to clasp them behind you. Since I can't get my left arm bent behind me, I just reach my right hand and I kind of gently pull on this left one. I pull it back and in to open up my chest. And breathe. And then we're going to do some side overs. So I'm going to move my chair away from this tower so I have some room. And we're going to sit on the chair with the right ankle wrapped around the back of the box, the left leg straight out on the floor, and the ring is going to be against the left thigh on the side. So we're going to be pressing and pulling, and you'll see what I mean in just a sec. So grow tall, take an inhale. As you exhale, gently press into the ring, right hand lands on the pedal. We push down and away with the right hand on the pedal, but also the left hand's pushing into the ring, and it gives me a nice stretch of my left oblique, QL, side of the waist area. And then lifting up, and we go again. Press and push into the ring as well. And lift. 2 more times. You got to push into the ring so it doesn't slip down your leg. And last one. Press into the ring, press into the pedal and bend. And lift. Good. Now I want you to turn so that your top leg, your right leg, is up on top of the chair, and you're going to bring the ring behind your back and just open up and stretch. So I'm pulling the ring apart with my thumbs, and I'm lifting my heart to the sky, and I'm also trying to get into this right outer hip of the leg that's bent on top of the chair. My toes on my back foot are down on the floor and flexed, and I just lift and reach. And then I'm gonna release, set the ring down on the right side of my chair while I bend forward and push my pedal down and get a little deeper stretch through my hip. And I just hang here. You could rock up and down, whatever feels good. And we lift, and we're going to turn and do all that on the other side to finish. So my left foot is wrapped around the back edge of my chair. My right foot is out to the side on the floor with toes pointed forward. The ring is in my right hand, which is against my right thigh. Left hand reaches. I won't be able to lift my arm to the ceiling, but you can. And then I press down into the pedal and into the ring. And gives you a really dynamic stretch, I feel. And then lift. And again, 3 more. And up. And last 2. Breathe deeply while you're here stretching. It really does add to the stretch when you inhale. And 1 more. Press. And lift. Good. And then we're going to take this left knee on top of the chair. I'm going to turn to face my knee, which is facing the pedal. My other toes are behind me on the floor, tucked under, and my hands go onto this ring wherever I can hold onto, and I sort of pull it apart, reach it down the back of my right thigh or leg, and then I lift my heart to the sky and stretch and open up my chest and shoulders and breathe. Make sure the mound of your big toe is pressing into the floor, not just the pinky toe side. You don't want to sickle the foot here. And then we're going to release that circle down to the side of the chair and finish with a piriformis stretch. Reaching our hands for the pedal, bend over this front leg and either hang down or rock up and down. And when you've had enough of that, curl up the spine. And we did it. That was a nice, quick little workout. Great stretches for the shoulders, the hips, the spine, and yet also some strengthening work in there too, for the core included. So great job. The Magic Circle is a phenomenal tool, prop to use to help add some strength and proprioception to the body. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me and have a great day. I'll see you next week in the next video.